If you said yes to the thumbnail. Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey chapter 234. It is the third day of the week, aka the Spirit Bomb workout. I am feeling pretty good on the way to the gym right now. Very happy about that and feeling relatively energized. But with that being said, to the main subject matter for today, which is a continuation of yesterday's subject matter in a way. This time it's a little bit of a different meme. We expand our horizons. We look a little bit broader, aka we look at the thumbnail and we see what's going on there. But basically, what I am doing, or the thumbnail that I'm the picture that I'm talking about here, or meme here, is the "I'd let her ruin me" meme. Now this one is more of a popular one within any thirst cycles. You'll see this happening. A lot of posts of goth women, I think, is like the big one. Just any type of woman that looks slightly deranged and or has a little tinge of crazy, and thus they will get the thirsty man in their comments, and or a meme about it saying, "I'd let her ruin my life," something along those lines. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this one in particular as an expansion from yesterday's is because another meme involving women, this one is a little bit more broader because you don't have to necessarily be a gym rat to understand this part where, you know, you're having somebody, quote, ruin your life, end of quote. But I find it quite fascinating that people will say this. Two fronts. One, willingly put yourself into a idiotic situation knowing that it's going to be bad. There are some risks that are worth willing to take, but there are others that, you know, if you're going to jump into a pool of sharks, you're a fucking idiot for doing it. That's one. And we'll get into more details on that when we get inside. But two, also, the fact that you're putting the worst foot forward in something like a relationship like that. You're basically already determining that it's going to go bad, which is detrimental not only upon yourself but also as well every other type of relationship that you're having if you're going to go into it with that mentality. And it pisses me off seeing something like that because, I mean, I get it, it's funny, haha, she's so crazy, she's gonna ruin me. What if she's crazy enough to match your crazy? What if you match her crazy? What if you become insane enough where she seems like the normal one? Maybe that might be a thing. Anyways, almost crashed. But you never know. And I know that sounds like what, but you're looking a little too deep into this. Yes, that's the entire point. I will discuss this in a different video. But memes are very important in today's society. Memes very much color your subconscious. As much as you would like to think they don't, but they do. And they do it a lot. And these types of things are the types of memes that will set people up for failure, and although they'll get the laugh now, later on, once they have no real relationships with women, they'll wonder what happened. You know, they will not understand it. They'll see the meme again and then laugh because, hey, that's me. They'll never really understand that what they're seeing is what they're reproducing, right? And that's the issue with it all. But that's kind of a whole other subject for a whole other day. I want to discuss it in this context alone because it is interesting to me that it's always going to work out. It's not going to work out. That she's going to ruin me. What if she makes you feel better? What if she actually gets something out of you that you never knew you had? And I'll probably get into more detail when we get inside, but it's just amazing to me that this happens. You know, there's also the other factor of the desperation, but we'll talk about that first when we get inside. And you know what? Speaking about that, we'll talk about that in the inside. All right, so started this day off with leg raises, which were pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter here. I'd let her ruin me, aka some of the dumbest memes I've ever seen. Now, like I said in yesterday's video, it doesn't matter necessarily. Of course, there are jokes. I get it. I'm a dude. Dudes can be dudes, and I hate that we don't have places where we can be like this anymore. But now I have to say, it doesn't feel like jokes anymore when it comes to memes like this, because it feels like there's a weird sense of desperation that comes when you see these types of jokes. Like, it's funny amongst the boys if you're doing it in person, but in meme form, there's some type of weird desperation and like thirsting over somebody that is just too much, and it just reeks of desperation, and it's just not a good look regardless. If this is your homeboy talking about this, brother, you got another thing coming realistically. The main point I wanted to make with this video was the fact that going into a situation knowing that you're fucked is probably the worst thing that you can do. That's one. But two, also, and this is why I don't like it, is that whenever you can go into something, always put your best foot forward. You never know how things could work out. Maybe you're worse than her. You never know. It's interesting to me that people will immediately estimate what the person's influence will be like on them, regardless of what they're actually like. And of course, I get it, men are from Mars, women are from hell, all that stuff. I understand that entire aspect of it, but it doesn't seem like a good place to start any relationship in. And of course, I may be looking way too into it, but memes are supposed to be part of the culture, the society. It looks at things and laughs at it, but it just laughs at something that reeks of dudes that don't know what they're doing and causing more of a rift between men and women. Because realistically, I get it, I understand it when there are funny jokes like this, but the rift is already there most of the time. There's no real reason to add more to it. I don't understand what's the point of trying to fuck with your own subconscious or anybody else's to try to make it so they believe that all the women that look like this. Now, of course, it's not that simple, of course, but people don't realize the subconscious power of memes and how they can influence you very easily. And thus, anybody that reminds you of that will subconsciously remind you of these things, and thus making it so it's a weird, vicious cycle where you can't really get out of it. So just don't be that guy, basically.
Our last bachelor likes women who take their clothes off for money. Let's hear it for Mo. Why do we have to stand here? This is so humiliating.
And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercise is not filmed. None. Exercise is skipped. Well, technically we have one behind the neck lat pull down, but it was already late and I'm like, fuck it, I want to go home. But anyways, back to the main subject matter for today. I'd let her ruin my life, aka some of the dumbest shit that you could say in possible human history. It's not the dumbest shit that you can possibly say in human history. Of course, there are worse things that you could say, but I think the entire idea of it is just like, I get it, it's a joke, whatever. It's just more so along the lines of reinforcing some things that you should probably never try to reinforce in your life. If you say things like that, you're just going to make things worse in your life. You're going to let people step all over you, and some of you are going to like it, in which case, good for you, but also, but also as well, there are going to be people out there that aren't like that, but then are going to be influenced by people that are like that, and they get off on that type of dumb shit, and then thus they're going to become like those people. But then once they realize, oh, this isn't working for me, and I don't like this, then they've kind of screwed themselves out of anything worthwhile in a relationship, and thus led themselves into a kind of a corner where they're just fucked, really, to put it bluntly. The thing is, I personally don't like memes like this because there's a certain type of all-encompassing memes that are like this. I will discuss them in the next episode, as this is a three-parter, and I will discuss the entire genre of meme in general, because there's a specific type that this encapsulates, in which case the person who is creating it is kind of putting in a negative tonality towards the meme itself. Now, of course, not every meme has to be positive. I'm not going to be an asshole and say that there isn't a space for these things, but the popularity of such spaces, of such negative memes, make it very, very, very cautionary tale on how to entertain yourself, really, because the more that you see these types of things, the more they get ingrained into your subconscious. As much as you would probably like to not believe that it's real, but the more that you process, the more you stare into the abyss, the more the abyss stares back at you. To put it in simpler terms, but also the more you absorb from other things, whether it be memes or videos or whatever, the more that it will shape you and make you into a person that you may not like, because at first you were making fun of them, but then you became them. Such a cliche. It's like yesterday where we were talking about revenge as the cliche, where in multiple movies they say, hey, don't take revenge on people. It never fucking works out. It feels good for like 2 seconds. Please don't. You know, like, how many times in history do we have to tell you, old man, don't fucking do it? But yeah, you're gonna want to anyway. There's those people. And then today, in today's subject matter, it's more of a, the longer you look at other bad guys, the longer you'll become one. Die the hero or stay alive long enough to see yourself the villain. That's basically the other half of movies and shit like that, where you have the downfall of the person becoming the exact opposite of what they wanted because they kept looking at a certain direction and then thus falling into the pit and trap of whatever the hell they didn't want to be and becoming that. And I think that's the infuriating part of it totally, because you see all these people like, you know, the loneliness epidemic and all these other things that are causing massive amounts of issues, but yet we laugh and cope with it through laughter. But it's not even good laughter, it's just shit laughter, of which it's just only digging yourself further down a rabbit hole that realistically society is not going to get you out of it. And then if you're not going to do anything about it, no one's going to get you out of it. So you're fucking yourself if you're not actually paying attention to what you need to be doing, and instead looking at these things, laughing, and then putting it into your subconscious as if the other people will agree. That's the other thing too. Women aren't going to necessarily like this. This isn't necessarily funny for them. It might be for some, but then again, those are the types of women that, do you really want to be dating? That's another question for another day, because that's a whole other conversation. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one was more of a, obviously, this one was more of a opinion-based, but also a two-part, part 2 of 3. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts and opinions about this one, because this is one that I think more people will have seen than the gym one, because the gym one is like the baseline gym rat meme training one, but unless you're in the gym sphere, you're not going to see that. This one, more likely than not, if you've seen anything with a woman in it, particularly a goth woman, but a woman nonetheless, you'll have seen this most likely in the comments section at least once or 3 times. So this one's a little bit broader. The next one is even broader than this, and we'll discuss that in the next episode. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thanks again for watching. Please stay safe out there. Take care. I will see you in the next one. Also, keep it heavy and stay warm. I'll take care out there. Peace.